And welcome to Callie and Jack's Performing Arts Websites Review. We'll be reviewing 3 different websites today called Musician.com, Sing Sharply, and My Shakespeare that all explore different elements of performing arts, specifically that related to music and drama, since that is our little focus. Our main goals of looking at these websites and why we liked them and picked them is that they help students engage in the arts in various different ways besides just physical, which is often what we do in the classroom since they're such physical manifestations. We're often just physically playing the instruments or physically acting things out, but there's different ways and there's different learners, and these websites help with those engagement ways. They're helpful for all modes of development. There's visual learning, auditory learning, and they're specifically designed to help you fine-tune your craft at home in your own bedroom, in the comfort of your home, on your computer, where you feel safe and the imaginary audience is not watching you, and your real audience of your peers isn't watching you either. You're not at school in front of your friends. So you can practice this little guitar thing, or you can learn how to sing that high C and make sure you're hitting it just right because of the app, or you can practice your Shakespeare monologue or watch somebody else do it so you know what you're doing. They're all designed for fine-tuning your skills in a comfortable way and helping you understand the text or the music you're engaging with. So without further ado, here we go.
This is the vocal education app, Sing Sharp. It is available on iOS and Android, and I'm going to get right to it. So if you press vocal range, you can see your vocal range, and as you can see, right now this computer is not the best with its mic quality, so it's shot right up, but if you see here, this white line, you can see just the visual representation through musical notations of how your voice just changes and just the range of your voice. So this is good for people who are just in middle school, as their voices are going to be changing, so it would be a good visual representation of how their voice changes through musical means. Okay, so if you were to go out of it in a sec, you can see that you can save it, and with this you can do this maybe once every couple weeks, and you can see your progress and how your voice might change over time and your vocal range might change over time. So this is just a way to keep track of that progress and just be able to see that. So if you were to go to warm up, you can see that there are ads. This is one of the smaller ads, but there are larger ads that pop up on the screen that are quite frankly annoying, and they might not be age appropriate for children who are who are before middle school, so I would suggest not showing this to children that are before middle school. So let's do one of these, and as you can see, there's going to be little notations on the screen and this little pitch indicator where students can use, where they can see just their pitch while they sing. This will be a good warm-up, as there is music playing in the background. You might not be able to hear it, but yeah, there's a piano playing in the background where they can just follow it and just be able to warm up their voice without an instructor necessarily being there. So this is great for just home practice, or when an instructor can't really cater to everyone during class. This will be a good way to just individually be able to warm up your voice without just the help of anyone else. So once we're done with that, you can see there are these larger ads that are just fill up the screen. Okay, so there are also songs. There are very few songs. There are only 3 on the Android, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that's one of the major gripes I have with it. In order to get different things, you do need to pay, because this is a free app, but there are extra in-app purchases that you can do, which I would suggest not doing, just because it might not be available for everyone. But free apps are generally available for most people, as most people have smartphones in their family. Okay, so here you can check your daily progress, and you can see maybe an instructor can keep track of like homework that they assign through this app by looking at the daily progress and seeing whether or not students have done it. And overall, it's a great app. It might not be perfect in the sense that just the microphone sensitivity of it might be just bonkers, like what happened before, or and there are ads that kind of just hinder the process, but it does what it needs to do, and yeah, it's just a good visual representation. This is the musical education app, Musician, and it is available on iPhone, Android, Windows, and Mac. Right now I'm using it on Windows on my computer, and you can learn guitar, bass, ukulele, or piano on this app, but right now I'm using it to teach myself how to play guitar. So you see right here that there is just a nice, pleasant user interface with a visual representation of the guitar fretboard, and it's telling me how to play the thinnest string, which I will do. As you can see, it does it very quickly, and it can recognize the sound right away. And that's something that I noticed with this app that is very good with recognizing sounds regardless of background noise or regardless of just the quality of the mic. But let's go to the main menu. So in the main menu, you can see that there are a whole lot of missions. And this is good for people who like to have goals in mind and who like to be able to track their progress visually. And yeah, and there's also a workout section where you can see how people who do want to play guitar in different ways that they can just learn how to play in different ways through this section. As you can see, if you like to play cowboy chord songs, then you can learn how to do that. The cool thing about guitar is that you can use it to do a wide variety of different genres of music. So while some people might want to play chords, other people might want to play finger picking. So this is good for people who want to have more control in their musical education experience, as learning from an instructor might be good, but it is difficult to have that just that motivation to keep going if you don't do stuff that you want to do, like that students want to do themselves. So this is a great way to be able to have that control. This is also good for educators who want to give people, their students, lessons while they're not there, or want to give them homework so that they can just be able to assign missions, or just assign specific missions, or just a certain amount of missions, depending on what the student wants to learn. They can track their progress through settings and through just you can see later on in the user interface that you have these levels, and they can track their progress through that. So there's a whole lot to this app that it will be difficult to go through all of it without spending hours on it. But one thing that I do have a problem with is that it is a bit expensive. It's $9.99 a month, but I honestly think it's worth it for students who really want to learn how to play guitar, want to be able to have control over it, control over their musical learning experience. But other than that, honestly, it's there's nothing really wrong with it, and I think that it's a great app for educators and students alike.
Is an interactive website for reading four of Shakespeare's most well-known works: Hamlet, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. You click on the plays, and there's interactive aspects designed to maximize comprehension and engagement for reading the plays. The limit is that there's only a few of them. You don't have all of the broad spectrum of Shakespeare stuff, but this is great for studying these. A goal of this website is to help readers truly understand the words Shakespeare created. All the words, metaphors, allusions, and complex characters. It provides various resources for engagement and tools to do so. Let's jump into Macbeth here. It'll explain these in a moment. It splits us up by acts and scenes to make it less dense for the reader and easier to understand. At the end of different scenes, we have a song summary for those auditory learners or people who like music. It summarizes what happened in a quick, easy song, easy to understand. One pitfall is these little commercial things. They're not really that educational. They're just vaguely Shakespeare related. I think they're kind of annoying, but it might help some people learn. I don't think so. So you jump in here and you'll see these different thought bubbles. This little speech one,
"Where hast thou been, sister?"
reads the lines out loud to you, so more for the auditory learners if reading isn't your strong suit. If you click on this, you can see a performance of the lines that are highlighted, so you can visually watch and see how this is made. Shakespeare meant for his things to be performed. If you click on this speech bubble, it gives the English modern version of it. Moral development is happening right now, and even though this is a great way to engage with the text and understand it, it can be used for cheating, just like Schmoop and SparkNotes. But You can still read the modern English translation on this website, but I think if it's properly assigned to students, depending on their stage of moral development and where they are, they may or may not use cheating. And honestly, they're looking to spend more time with their peers than they are into studying. So they might just do this for an easy way out, but that's a risk you'd have to take. I think this is worth it. There's an underlining glossary under all words they think they might not know. If you click on the little quill here, it explains literary allusions, devices, and everything right there. You click on it and it explains exactly what it means. If you scroll down at the bottom of pages, they do interviews with characters to give it insight into what they're feeling, especially for complex ones like the witches. It helps discuss why they're different to each people. A downside to this is if by watching the performances, you're seeing a specific view and take on these characters, and it takes away your ability to envision them in your own way in your head, since they can be done in any way, so it might hinder an acting education, but just reading it, it might enhance it. So we have videos for the visual learners, text in old and current English, songs to summarize, footnotes, and many ways to engage and understand the text. It's appropriate for adolescents since they're in the formal operation stage in which their language skills are being developed. It directly engages and unpacks understanding difficult language and allows students to not feel embarrassed since they can engage with it on their own at home, feel like they understand and master it when they come into class.